Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the backstory. If you are new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified when we post a new video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is a statement that was made by Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka. And that statement has left me wondering if we really have a country here. And I was also wondering, why is the political class this greedy? And are we still left with some leaders who are patriotic enough to take this country to the next level? Because what he has revealed to Kenyans in that statement is shocking. If you are a patriotic Kenyans, you'd be shocked. Because the kind of money that is lost in this country, the amount of money that is lost in this country through corruption, through deals, through budgeted corruption, it was just mind-boggling. I would want you guys to listen to that video keenly and tell me, what can we do as a country so as to, one, fight corruption effectively, and two, to get leaders who are patriotic, who would want to take this country to a new level. Let's listen in.
I can sit here and tell you that, number one, every single thing we do during the budgeting system, from the beginning of the budget until the end of it, the money you see that is being put there, which is, we are now stuck at about 3 trillion, 400 billion. Half of that money is for corruption. I sit in the budget committee and I can sit and tell you this is going for corruption. I'll give you an example. Last year we allocated money to do tarmac roads.
Yeah.
Did you hear anywhere in Kenya where a tarmac road was done? We spent 117 billion. I can tell you that your financial structure previously, for the last 11 to 12 years until President William Ruto came to power, the IFMI system was in the hands of private individuals. How do you take your financial system and allow private individuals to manage all your financial transactions through public and private arrangements where the government doesn't have exclusive end-to-end inscription on that system for 12 years?
How is that possible?
It only happens in Kenya. Because we laugh at these things.
So how did you know all this?
Yes.
And we're only finding out now.
I'm learning this after I got to the Senate. I'm sitting in boards. I'm sitting in committees where I am listening the presentations being made and I'm looking at the detailing coming out. It's just mind-blowing. It's shocking.
Quick question.
There is no government fund, whether it is donor funded, whether it is money for agriculture, whether it is money for water, that is never stolen. They have even money in county governments. Governors know how to beat the system, to beat the IMF and World Bank conditionalities.
Wow.
I was saying, Ruto has to fix the damn thing because it's broken. Money is stolen from the national government. All these stories you said, we don't want to give the First Lady her money. That's the kitty. That's the kitty that people have been sharing and eating for the years. How much money? You saw the other day. How can a governor buy flowers in Bungoma for 25 million during Madaraka Day? And during that time after we had been there, his hospital, when we visited it, because I went under the devolution committee, we found women lying on the damn floor. This idiot is spending how much? 25 million to buy flowers?
Flowers.
Is that normal?
It's not normal.
It's not normal. How many times have you seen Nancy Karugu, the controller, the Auditor General, and Ms. Nyakango, the controller, by saying, the money is being stolen, gentlemen. Money is being... Please, we don't know what to do. The audit... How can a governor pay 962 million shillings to 2 legal firms from Machakos County? For case... Which case is that you are taking to court that costs $1 billion?
Shillings in legal fees.
Is that normal?
It's not normal.
And nothing is done about it.
This is
and
crazy.
when we are telling ESCC how useless they are, they keep telling us we take the case, we hand the case over to the DPP. We don't know why DPP is not arresting people. We know that every single time, Maish, if today I reported you to ESCC that you've done something illegal or you are culpable, the next thing they do is that you have to look for money, you put it in a briefcase, and you deliver the cash. Or 90% of our governors deliver the cash, and nobody's willing to talk about it.
Let me ask you.
Minor, can I ask you today? We don't know the number of primary school kids we have. We don't know how many kids that are going to secondary school. We don't know the number of guys who are going to university, the kids, boys and girls who are going to university.
I thought you've got that inventory.
Negative. The inventory, if you ask it today, you'll never get it. Why? Because those are the gray areas that are left. We can't use data. So when you are doing capitation and giving government money, those are the numbers that are used to siphon off the money. How can you spend 636 billion shillings, which is what Kibaki got when he became president to start governing Kenya, paying the military, the police and everything? You put that money in education and your kids are not going to school for free? Are you serious? Maish, if today I asked you how much money does the port of Mombasa make?
Yeah, how much does it make?
I don't know. You don't know either, and I'm a senator. If I ask that question, nobody will tell me.
Yeah, you're a senator,
Yeah.
so you're there to represent me. So how much does it make?
What I'm saying, the system that we are running, the reason why our country is where it is, the reason why these issues of the Gen Zs have come up, is that the system is so broken. How can you give 70 billion shillings for bursaries between MCA, governor, MP, women rep, deputy governor, and the governor himself at that area? The president has his own bursary kitty. His deputy has his own bursary kitty. Why can't you go down take that 70 billion and give it free education to the children? Why are you allowing somebody to carry money to want to give another African people? Africans will never give you money which they have taken on your behalf. Why is he giving it to you? Let the government pay directly.
Okay, let me ask you.
I have an answer. This should have been tabled by yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Not yesterday, by Friday.
Yeah.
And I believe that within the next 1 week is now when I'll get a response from the committee.
Yeah.
Most likely, then the committee is going to say, okay, we are going to call these guys. It'll take another 3 to 4 weeks. That is the flaw in our system. When there's an emergency, there's nothing I can do. This is the formality. That's why I've said we proceed with the public good, tell the public what is going on. If they have sold the airport, which I believe they have, right now we are trying to figure out how to use the court system and how to pick ourselves up and try and salvage this. I have more information that I cannot divulge now. For example, there are 2 Indians who are handling this. There's a relationship between the group called Medihill Hospitals, which has now again also been linked to why we left NHIF and went to SHIF. That is part and parcel of people sharing the loot.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think you are as shocked as I am. You know, during President Uhuru's era, he talked about Kenya losing 2 billion shillings every day to corruption. So if it's true, that was coming from a former president. And whatever Richard Onyonka has disclosed here is coming close to what President Uhuru was talking about. Then if all these things are true, then it means Kenya as a country is very rich. We are endowed with resources. We are endowed with patriotic Kenyans who are paying taxes, but we have a political class which is out to ruin this country and amass wealth, what we would call stupid accumulation of wealth. Because how much is enough at the end of the day? How much would you steal and then go stash outside this country? I would rather you steal and come invest in this country, create employment for Kenyans. Look at it this way. No, Richard Onyonka has made revelations Then it left me wondering. I tried to look at some areas that were losing money as a country. And I came to realize that indeed Richard Onyonka is telling the truth. Remember, we have two areas that we are also losing money as a country, which is in the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Health. Remember, agriculture was devolved. It's a devolved function. But if you look at the budget that we're having right now, hundreds of billions have been budgeted for the Ministry of Agriculture. Hundreds of billions have been budgeted for the Ministry of Wealth. Where is that money going to? While health is a devolved function, which means that money needs to go to the counties. The money going to the Ministry of Health needs to go to the counties as well. So where is that money going to? And do we at times go back at the end of the financial period to look at how we've spent money? And do we do follow-ups? Like when there are audit queries, how do we deal with those queries? So I think as a country, we need to, one, be serious with how we are doing all these things. Because from what I'm getting, it means we don't even need to borrow money. Or if we are borrowing, then right now we should have been way better than we are doing right now in terms of infrastructure, in terms of education, in terms of health services. We should be doing way better. Because money for recurrent expenditure, we can generate that money internally from our taxes. Then we don't need to borrow. The only money that we need to borrow is for development, doing our road networks, doing our hospitals, doing our schools. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to put pressure on the government. I think President Ruto's government needs to act. And that is why I really supported, and I still support the Gen Zs, that we need to come to a point whereby we have to say enough is enough. And together as a people, tackle these issues without looking at who is coming from where. Because in the long run, all these messes that we are doing right now will catch up with us as a country. However much you steal and go out there and enjoy it, the only country that you have is Kenya. You will still come back here and get Kenya when it's in ruins. And it's not only the national government. If you go to the county government, that is where corruption is also. Sometimes you look at it and you say, who bewitched us? There's a lot of wastages. We just need to be prudent in the way we manage our resources. So one, the remedy here would be to strengthen the Anti-Corruption Commission. Give it some teeth so that we can fight corruption. And this can only happen when we have goodwill from the political class, that is from the presidency going downwards. We need to strengthen it. We need to give it power. And then the Public Prosecution Office also needs to be serious. These are the offices that I think Gen Zs need to visit them. Tell them that we need action so that we can take this monster called corruption head on. And then, to finalize, as a country, we need to be very vigilant. We need to have, let's get as many whistleblowers as possible. Whenever someone is involved in corruption, let's try as possible to reveal the secrets so that at the end of the day, before someone gets involved in any corruption kind of related case, then he or she must be very aware that Kenyans are watching. But it's so sad. Whatever I've heard from Senator Richard Onyonka, is just mind-boggling. Because it took the Gen Zs to go out on the streets for Senator Onyonka to also come out and tell Kenyans what is going on. And you'd ask yourself, how many of such information is out there? And Kenyans are just afraid of not coming out to like share with the populace. So we need to strengthen EACC, strengthen the Office of the Public Prosecution, and offer protection to witnesses and whistleblowers so that in this fight against corruption, because I know corruption is a monster that dealing with head on might take us time. But if you're serious about it, there are countries that have done this. There are countries in Africa and outside Africa that have done this. And I think we can do it, ladies and gentlemen. It's just mind-boggling that we complain. The executive complains that 70% of our revenue goes into paying debts. But the same executive cannot put or stamp the authority and tell Kenyans that, hey, we are going to fight corruption so that all these loopholes where money is escaping to, or where politicians of the political class are using to that the political class is using to steal our money can be sealed. So, ladies and gentlemen, my thinking is, as a country, let's try as much as possible to put pressure on the executive, put pressure on the legislature, because they should now play their oversight role. Because if we leave this to the executive only, then the people who are in the executive, majority of them have gone there to make money. Majority of who are in the executive will look for ways of stealing. But if the legislature can play its role, which is the oversight, then we have a strengthened and an empowered EACC. And the Public Prosecution Office is also put under pressure to do its job, then I think we will be good to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me take a rest as I try to think about all that Senator Onyonka has shared. Those are some of the ways in which these guys are stealing our money. It's so sad that as a country, we don't have patriotic leaders who can come out and say enough is enough. We have to take Kenya to the next level. Kenya is endowed with a lot of resources that if we can manage them well, I don't think there is any other country in Africa that can compete with us or can outcompete us. But it's like the political class has decided to eat. But the question is, how much is enough? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from me today. Until next time.